How many people out there are paying attention to the oil crisis? The high prices that we're paying at the pumps, the discussions about where to drill, when to drill, the high oil company profits. I'm not a politician. I'm not no silver-tongued devil like Newt Gingrich or like Roy Blunt. I'm just an average citizen that's frustrated, and I'm looking at this thing from a business point of view. And what I'm being told isn't making no sense to me. They're talking about drilling for more oil to relieve the prices. Hey, drilling's fine. Bringing in more supply is fine. But it ain't going to fix nothing for 10 years. It's going to take them 10 years to establish these new wells. And the supply thing isn't the issue right here. Because if the supply was the issue, the oil companies would be out there drilling in the 10,000 leases they already have. They'd be trying to pump that oil up and put it on the market. They're not trying that. They've got thousands of acres under lease offshore, and they're not drilling in none of those either. And when you look at that picture, that they've got all this available drilling to do and they're not drilling, then drilling in ANWR or drilling off the coast isn't the issue here. That's not what's going on here. Now, we all know that Arab oil companies are making an obscene profit at $140 a barrel. Well, American oil companies, hey, they want a piece of that action too. And I think they figured out a way to get it. Number one. We all know that Arab oil companies are making an obscene profit at $140 a barrel. Well, American oil companies, hey, they want a piece of that action too. And I think they figured out a way to get it. Number one, we know that we can pump oil in America for less than $60 a barrel, and that's including a reasonable profit. Now, if we pump that oil and we sell it on the world market at $140 a barrel, we've just made a 125% increase in profits. Profits, okay? Now, that could account for some of this obscene profit that oil companies are making. Another part of this is if the oil companies are pumping domestic oil at less than $60 a barrel from our American wells and selling it to the American consumer as if it's imported oil costing $140 a barrel, they've just made another 125% profit. That's a total of 225% profits, pure profits on top of what they normally make. This is what I think's happened. I think Congress needs to bring these oil companies, hey, bring them forward and have them show the records. I want to see where the oil profits are coming from. They can show them to us. We're going to have to twist their arm to get it, but they can show it to us where those profits are coming from. And if they're scamming the American taxpayer, then what they need to do is there needs to be a windfall profit tax put on that, and there needs to be some laws that are passed to outlaw gasoline price gouging. And we need to look at the speculation part of this. Hey, perhaps the speculators aren't putting up enough collateral when they're speculating. They're not putting enough risk into this. You know, if they've got to risk something, then maybe they won't be so wild in their speculations. Now, these are things we need to look at before we look at the drilling in the ANWR that's going to solve our problem 10 years from now. It just seems like the Republicans are so far out of touch. It really seems like they've been bought by the oil companies, and I don't see much difference between them and if an oil representative got in front of you and said, hey, I want to drill over here in ANWR and we want to increase the supply and maybe we can bring the gas down a little bit. These Republicans are looking a lot like oil representatives, and I think it needs to come to a stop, and I think it needs to come to a stop right now.